to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Bills may be without linebacker Matt Milano until December. He'll have surgery on a torn biceps from Tuesday's practice. Milano missed most of last season with a right leg injury. It's official. The Falcons make that trade with the Patriots to get pass rusher Matthew Judon. Atlanta head coach Raheem Morris.
Anytime you can add a dog to your group and have him be able to come and be a part of that, that is exciting. I think we have excitement for that. I think he has excitement for that. I think a couple of our players that actually know him personally have excitement for that. His reputation precedes himself.
Raheem Morris, New England gets a third-round pick in that deal. Panthers corner Dane Jackson could be out up to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. He got hurt during Wednesday's practice. ESPN has learned the Giants will cut veteran defensive back Jalen Mills. He had been on the non-football injury list with a calf strain. Mills never got on the field in training camp.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, Jordan Love got his money. I'll tell you what he needs to do if he wants to be viewed as the best quarterback in the conference. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Ross Dellenger, 15 minutes. LSU 5-star running back commit Harlem Berry in 30 minutes. We're heading up to Carolina next hour to check in on the Panthers. Ross Jackson, only 2 more times out in Irvine. We'll get to him. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Dennis Allen was not in the mood after practice today. Can't say to blame him because rookie first-round draft pick left tackle Taliese Fuaga departed practice with injury. After practice, DA was asked, why did he leave? What was that injury?
What did Fuaga leave with?
Back. Literally 1 second. Paulie, you didn't even need to put up the graphic, brother. He was done. Paul put up the Dennis Allen graphic. I'm like, there's no point in doing it because this is a 1 second soundbite. You literally can't even push the button quickly enough to bring up the picture before that thing's done. So a back injury for Taliese Fuaga. No word on the severity. DA was asked to follow up. Would this keep Fuaga out of the game on Saturday? Here's what I keep saying Saturday. On Sunday, they play Sunday night. On Sunday, here's what he said.
I have no idea. I mean, all I know is they took him in probably during the individual period. He had some back tightness. Looked to me like, prior to even starting practice, looked to me like he was kind of stretching his back out maybe a little bit. So I don't know if that was bothering him beforehand. So I would say this. I would say if he is a healthy body and capable of playing, then he'll play in the game. And if he's not, then he won't. But I really have no idea right now. I mean, the only thing I know is he had some back tightness.
Okay. I'm not going to overreact to this. there are certain injuries which will not be named that if you hear those dreaded buzzwords and buzz terms, then you get really worried. Yes, whenever you start talking about a large man and you hear words like back and neck, it is more concerning, but hopefully it's nothing more than just, man, you're into day 17 of camp and there's going to be football stuff, and hopefully that's all this is, because if we are being very clear, this is something we all know. The New Orleans Saints went into this training camp, and everybody knew the single biggest question on this team, the single biggest position battle, the single biggest issue, whatever, however you want to phrase it, was that offensive line. Because you're replacing 3 starters, you're trying to salvage something out of Trevor Penning in a new spot on the right side. You've got a rookie in Taliese Fuaga who you hope you hit on and is going to be your left tackle. At left guard, you were hoping Nick Saldiveri, who, remember, you traded up last year to the first pick of day 3 to take Saldiveri. You were hoping it was going to be him. He didn't impress, but also is injured, and Lucas Patrick's there now. So basically, you went into camp with 3 jobs open on that offensive line. There were 2 certainties. Eric McCoy at center, Cesar Ruiz at right guard. Those are your 2 certainties going into camp. And today, with 2 days left in California, 1 after today, you got 2 certainties on the offensive line, and it's Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. And that is a very unsettling feeling. Alvin Kamara was absent as well on Thursday, and there was some question as to whether or not this was about the contract or injury related. Here was the back and forth with DA and the reporter.
I think it's worth clarifying, since Alvin had missed time because of a contract issue earlier. His absence is definitely not...
0 related to contract. At least, as far as I know, 0 related. I mean, he's got some back tightness. This is something he's dealt with before, so I certainly wouldn't speculate in that route.
I think that's Mike. It sounded like Mike Triplett who asked the question there, but Dennis Allen was pretty adamant, 0 related to do with contract, and then he sort of backed off of it and said, well, I don't know. But if it's, I'd almost rather it be a contract than an injury at this point. You know, the Saints, they'll practice on Friday out in Irvine. They'll head up on Saturday to the Bay Area. They'll play the Niners on Sunday, and then they'll come home and finish training camp in New Orleans and get ready to play Carolina week 1. And if you remember from the start of camp through the first couple of weeks, certainly through the first full week, the storyline was every day there was another significant player who went down with an injury. This certainly is a team that doesn't feel like it can afford injuries anywhere. As a matter of fact, Dennis Allen, even though we just talked about 2 offensive guys with Fuaga and Alvin Kamara, DA was asked about evaluating the first team defense because of all the injuries. When you've seen Pete Werner and DeMario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore, you've seen all these defensive players at different times. Brian Brzee at the foot early in camp. All these defensive players have gone down with injuries. And DA was asked about evaluating this defense given all those injuries.
I like what I'm seeing from the guys that are out there. And in particular, I like some of the things I'm seeing out of our defensive line. I think we got a big physical group up front, and more so than that, like, they have the right demeanor and they play the right way. They play a tough, aggressive style of defense, a physical style of defense, and that's what wins in our league. And I think the defense starts with the front and their ability to control the line of scrimmage. Like, I thought there were some things in terms of the pass rush in that 2 minute that was really good. I'm in a good spot with what I think our defense can be.
I don't disagree with him on defense. I think we all generally agree Dennis Allen's a really good defensive coordinator, and he's going to make the defense go good enough. The offense is obviously the big question, and the more injuries you have, the more concerning it gets. And, I try to be mindful of this. It may not seem that way, but I really do. I try to be mindful of the fact that nobody wants to come listen to this show or talk about their favorite team and just be beaten over the head every day with how bad it is and why they're going to stink. I am mindful of that. Like, it's not fun to sit here every day and talk about if Derek Carr is going to be back next year, win totals, firing the coach odds, which new fire the coach odds came out today, and Dennis Allen had the third highest odds of being the first coach fired. Like, that's not fun, and I get it. But I'm also not just going to paint a rosy picture for the sake of painting a rosy picture, because I don't believe that. I mean, Kat Terrell today, ESPN, all the NFL Nation reporters did a ceiling and floor piece. So for all 32 teams, here's the ceiling, here's the floor for their respective teams. And Kat listed the Saints ceiling at 10-7 and the floor at 5-12. Ten and 7 might be right as far as the ceiling. Like at best case, everything goes your way. I'm not so sure that 5-12 is the floor, y'all. I think there's a real chance it could be worse than that. Especially if these injuries continue to persist. As we have updates, we'll share them with you. But Taliese Fuaga left practice with what Dennis Allen described as a back. He didn't say a back. He just said back. So Fuaga doesn't even have a back. He doesn't have a back. He's just got back.
He's backless.
Back. Fuaga got back. Baby got back. Maybe he's talking about his T. Heine instead of his actual.
Could be.
Maybe so. So that's what Sir Mix-a-Lot said back in the day.
D.A., big Sir Mix-a-Lot guy.
But he doesn't know what a metaphor is.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch that here.
No.
You know how good I'm being, Muse?
Yeah.
Not touching that at all?
I didn't cut it either. I almost did, but I was like, you know what?
I could have.
Yeah.
As big as I am with grammar and everything.
Oh, I didn't even really think about that. I just thought about how we always kind of, drag DA. But, yeah.
Have I ever said anything untrue that was...
No. I mean, I didn't say it wasn't warranted.
Show open brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Oh, my guy, Dan Palmer. Oh, you, Dan Palmer, over at Mockler. Swung by the office here today. You're noticing what's here on the set. I don't know if you can get a little close-up on there, Paula. You don't have to if you can't. But brand new Bud Light LSU bottles are out. The new design is available. Get them at great local retailers. If you're going to be tailgating this season, drink easy with the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU, Bud Light. Be sure to get those LSU Bud Light aluminum bottles. And, Muse, Paulie, what do we think about? Everybody loves a shirt. What do we think about this one?
Let's see.
What do we think about
Everybody does love a shirt. That's so true, man. Oh, that's strong. I like that a lot, actually.
100 years, a million cheers. Purple shirt celebrating 100 years of Tiger Stadium.
Is that the front or the back of it?
That's the back.
That's the
front
back?
has the Bud Light logo.
Solid, man. That is really good.
And the 100-year logo for Tiger Stadium on the front. I'm going to keep this one.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. It's after further review. Ross Dellenger next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Got a coworker, literally was talking to a coworker today. This is not, I'm not fibbing at all. Why would I ever lie to you? She is looking for a new home, going with Darren at 10 a.m. on Sunday to look at a home, to view a property that they're looking for. It's not just me and my family, coworkers, and many of you. I would encourage anybody, if you're trying to buy a home or sell your home, you need Darren James. Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America came out. Number 1 in Louisiana. Number 13 in America on the transaction side. That's the number of homes closed last year. Darren James, number 1 in Louisiana. So, if you're thinking about selling your home, why would you call anyone other than the realtor that sells more homes than anyone? That's Darren James. Most user-friendly website in real estate. Check it out. Agent225.com.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving. After further review with Matt Moscona.
Always appreciate a couple minutes with Ross Dellenger, Yahoo Sports. Got a great piece up about the fact that the college football playoff is here and might be about to change again. Delly, how are you, man?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Are you going to make all my hopes and dreams and wishes come true and tell me we're going to flush the G5 out of this thing next year?
Well, I don't know about next year, but it is, that is certainly a fear among the G5 that they are going to eventually be cut out of the CFP, the automatic spot. Now, they're guaranteed to be in the CFP with that automatic spot the next 2 years. So we start in 2026. 2026 and beyond, we don't really know too many particulars about the format, and that's when it could change. And that's why the next couple of years are very big for the G5, right? The G5 champion, the best G5 team, gets the automatic spot, and no matter if they're ranked or not. And they really, to prove that they need to continue to hold that spot, they need to do well the next couple of years. So it's a really two big seasons here for the group of 5 teams.
It's interesting that you said this format exists for the next 2 seasons. But Ross, we just saw them tear up the 4-team format and move on because they had, I guess, unanimous agreement to do so. Is it possible that a year from now, is it even realistically possible that a year from now there could be a format change where the G5 isn't automatically included?
No, and so you're right. In order to change the format, they had to get unanimity. And that was in unanimity, the decision-making, policy-making bylaws of the CFP were that you needed unanimity, like they got. But starting in 2026 is a new deal and new policies. And one of those policies is it doesn't take unanimity. beyond 2026 and beyond. But until the next 2 years, 24, 25 is under the old policy, which is you need unanimity, and obviously they wouldn't get unanimity if they cut out to cut out the G5. They would never get that right, but they needed that for the change now. But starting in 26, you don't need unanimity to make a lot of these changes.
So the G5 has a vote.
Well, I mean, there are 11 votes. The G5 has 5 votes.
That's
now,
stupid.
Because each conference commissioner has a vote. So
Hmm.
you have even the Pac-12 commissioner has a vote for the next 2 years until 2026. And the Notre Dame, as an independent, has a vote as well, a singular vote. So only one school has a vote, Notre Dame, and then you have the 10 conferences that each have a vote.
Okay.
So the G5 has 5 votes. Now, the votes are weighted on certain issues, and starting in 2026, they will be weighted especially for things, for decisions on format and revenue distribution that you used to need unanimity for 11-0. Now you will not need that going forward. In fact, it'll probably end up being where you need just a majority of the power for conference commissioners in Notre Dame. So that's 5 total people. You need 3 of the 5 probably to make a lot of changes, from what I understand.
All right, so 2 years of watching G5 get the crap kicked out of them, and then they're gone. Good. I can deal with 2 years. I would rather none, but I can deal with 2. Ross Dellenger's with us. He got a great piece out, in all seriousness, great piece up at Yahoo right now. 2 great pieces as we embark on this new college football season. One is about the potential changes coming to the playoff. What does happen, Ross, whenever the G5 I'm operating under the assumption that this is going to happen. Like, they're not going to have an auto bid. That is an inevitability. What happens when that happens? Play that hypothetical with me.
You mean what does the format look like?
I would
they're
say,
cut out, like
what happens to the G5? Like I saw you said something about I don't know, like an NIT or something like that type.
Well,
thing?
yeah, the G5 commissioners all are meeting next week in Dallas, and I think a discussion point is their future. Is what can we do to kind of enliven our postseason? And one of the suggestions is we have some kind of NIT version, like a football NIT, using the bowl system. Maybe have a 4-team or 8-team playoff, and it's kind of like a secondary championship. Since only one team out of 65 G5 schools, only one school can get in to the CFP, at least for now, right? At some point we might get there where there's 0, and then maybe they'd have to have their own championship. But what you're asking me is to look in the crystal ball. And I don't know, but I could tell you, and as I've said on the show before, the power comp, every little rule change that we've had in college athletics has been geared to favor and benefit the power conferences. And so the gap and the financial gap, and thus the success on the field, the gap on the field with talent, continues to grow between the group of 5 and the power conferences. And it's going to grow to a point probably, whether that's 4 years or 6 years or 10 years, where the group of 5 is going to have to probably go off and be a more formal, separate division like FCS is. I would anticipate that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I know Jamie Chadwell, the Liberty coach, told you, quote, "We are a farm system," meaning the G5, which, yeah, you are. So go do your own thing and keep being a farm system. That's what I've been yelling about for 20 years. It's made me lose all my hair. He's on Twitter at Ross Dellenger, Yahoo Sports. Just your opinion. I know you have a very educated opinion on this, but just your opinion, because this is a conversation here, Ross, that gets a lot of play. When you look at the number of bids per league, how do you think that's going to work out?
Well, yeah, I mean that's a big talking point, and it's a divisive one. It has divided the room for sure, because you have specifically the Big Ten, right? And again, I'm talking about the future of the playoffs, so starting in 2026 and beyond, because we know the next 2 years is the current format: 12 teams, 5 AQs, 1 each of the 5 champions, and then 7 at large. But 26 and beyond, the format is kind of, up in the air. And the Big Ten and SEC, along with ESPN, the TV partner, have control over that format, basically. They can do what they want in a lot of ways. And the Big Ten wants multiple AQs for the Big Ten and the SEC, as many as 4 AQs for each league. That's what they proposed back in March. Now, it was met with a review, obviously, from the other leagues. But the original proposal was 4 AQs for Big Ten, SEC, 2 or 3 for the ACC and Big 12, and then you have a couple at large. That would have been a 14-team field, I believe. Then there's a proposal, Matt, for 3 AQs for the SEC and Big Ten each, 2 AQs for the Big 12 and ACC each, and then you have like 3 at large. And that was also met with some pushback. So guess what they decided? Well, we won't talk about that now. We'll see what happens in the first year or 2 of the playoff year, and then we'll start talking about it. And they will. They'll start re-talking about it in April. But I can tell you, whatever the SEC and Big Ten want, the SEC and Big Ten are probably going to get. Yeah. And that's what they got in the revenue distribution decisions that were made around the CFP. That's what they got in this House settlement that were made. They led that. And why? Why are they getting everything they want? And I've written this. Shouldn't be a big surprise to anybody because they came out publicly, Greg Fink and Tony Petit, the commissioners of the Big Ten and SEC, and they said it to me publicly. They threatened to leave, right? They have threatened to leave everybody else, and they're going to continue probably to do that.
Ross Dellenger, Yahoo Sports. What a fascinating time within the sport that we all love, but all this conversation, they're about to tee it up and kick it off here in a little more than a week. All right, Delly, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
I got it. Yep.
Great stuff. If you haven't read the pieces, Ross has 2 pieces up at Yahoo right now, and they're really good. One is about how even as we're embarking in this change in the college football playoff, there might be more change coming soon. And then another is kind of explaining as a fan what you can expect. Like he does a great job of simplifying all of the changes around college football this year and what you can expect to see. So you can check that out over at Yahoo. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone else. How about a lifetime warranty on wood windows? To some people, that would sound like a punchline. But at Relief Windows, it's a reality. So what if you live in a neighborhood where the HOA requires you to have wood windows and every, 5-7 years, you're replacing your windows? What if you had to do it once and you were done forever? Well, with Relief Windows, that's a possibility. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do shutters as well, but their number one product is always customer satisfaction. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're talking to Julian Council 1 hour from right now, bouncing around the NFC South. We handled Falcons, Bucks yesterday. Today, we'll look at the Carolina Panthers. However, some breaking news there during that segment, and it's not good for the New Orleans Saints. After courting former All-Pro safety or Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons and letting him leave without getting a deal done, Justin Simmons then went and visited the Atlanta Falcons, and news breaking that the Falcons are signing safety Justin Simmons. So a day after trading for Matthew Judon from the New England Patriots, they've now signed Pro Bowl safety Justin Simmons. The Falcons just continue to get better, and I think they have to be the prohibitive favorite to win the division at this point. So another L for the Saints there. Ooh, hits just keep on coming. Not true for the Tigers, however. They are rolling up the recruits in 2025. One of them is 5-star running back Harlem Berry. He joins us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. 4 locations, convenient to you, and of course, an amazing selection. You go check out Clegg's Facebook page and their social media. You'll see whenever they get new shipments in, they post them. And so you'll know exactly what's there when they get new flowers and plants and trees and shrubs. They've got Johnny Naylor seeds. Y'all, I know you look at the thermostat and it's 97 degrees right now and it's August, but it's mid-August. We're getting closer to September. Fall is going to be here. It's time to get those fall bedding plants in the ground. It's time to get those vegetable garden seeds in the ground right now. And Clegg's has a great selection. So get on by and see them at any of the 4 locations. And if you're dealing with any of those pests, remember they got the Aeon mosquito barrier. Knock out mosquitoes 90 days at a time, super affordable. They got it. one place, Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
I am so, on this show, sometimes we have fun, we do bits, and whenever I have a chance, like Todd Peterson, we have a drop.
Todd Peterson.
And it lives forever. Cartwright? We have Cartwright? Cartwright. What else we got, Muse? What am I missing?
Murray?
Oh,
Murray,
yeah, Latavius Murray. Mason Taylor.
Mason Taylor!
Love having a drop. And one that's lived for quite a while now is our Jacob Berry drop. Jacob Berry. And I'm so excited because Harlem Berry is going to be a Tiger. So I'll be able to recut that instead of doing Jacob Berry. Jacob Berry. I'll be able to do Harlem Berry and use it for as long as he plays at LSU and forever, in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Play it again. Jacob Berry. Harlem Berry, 5-star running back out of St. Martin's Episcopal, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Harlem, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just getting out of school. About to go to practice in a minute, but I'm doing good.
Would you mind if I use that drop and take out Jacob Berry's name and put yours in there and used it on the show?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. That would be dope.
All right, we got a cosign. We're in. Hit it again, Muse. Jacob Berry. Hey, did school just start for y'all?
Yeah, we just went back. We went back yesterday, but today was our full day of school, first full day.
Is it hard for you? I mean, look, you have a reality that most high school, students will never experience, where you have a degree of notoriety and maybe fame, celebrity, and you've got so much on your shoulders. Like, is it hard to do all the normal, like go into class and studying for tests when you have everything else on your plate?
Nah, St. Martin's, they make it real easy for me to just be a normal kid. My friends and everybody, since it's such a small school, it's like some people don't even see it like that. We just all so close. So,
hey man, why did talk a little bit about your recruitment? I want to talk about your season. Of course, you got an autograph event signing coming up that we're going to talk about here and promote for you as well. But why? This is the first time you and I have ever spoken. I'm curious why you made the decision to commit so early in your process.
I really had my mind made up. Like, I've been wanting to go to LSU since I heard of LSU. Saw Leonard Fournette play and all them type of players. But once I really had my mind made up and was like, I saw what I wanted to see, I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be at. I just went with it, and I was like, I need to commit. So I have my senior season to myself. I don't have to worry about no recruiting visits, no coaches, this and that. So I just wanted to make that decision early.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of LSU people and coaches as well that are thrilled that you did. What was it like being recruited by Frank Wilson?
It was great. Me and Coach Frank had gotten real close in the past years. Since he's been recruiting me, so it was a great connection. Coach Frank, he came. They went at me hard. They were coming after me, so I just felt like Coach Frank would do the best.
Yeah, he's got a reputation of doing that, especially in New Orleans, man. It's like if there's a guy in New Orleans, generally Coach Frank, reels him in. What is that? What is it about him and in the New Orleans area that makes him so effective, man?
I definitely think because he lived in New Orleans and he has so many connections. Coach Frank is known around New Orleans, so it just makes it easier for him to adapt, get to know the player better, get to know the type of player that you are, and everything. So,
Harlem Berry is our guest. Hey, let's talk about the type of player that you are. Over the summer when you and Bryce Underwood, you're playing that 7-on-7 competition with our buddy Ryan Clark, of course, coach you guys. Remember RC came on and said, "Man, like if you just played wide receiver, you'd be a 5-star wide receiver." What was that experience like, getting to go play the national 7-on-7 tournament with so many other great players and having the showing that you did?
Oh, it was fun, especially because over the summer I was working on running back, but I was trying to get in the receiving back type of thing. So being able to work on that and then go produce and go put on a show, especially with Bryce as such a great quarterback he is, it's just a fun experience and great way to build a connection between me and him.
Is that something that you just have naturally, the receiving ability? Because we're looking at these highlights, Harlem. I mean, you look like a receiver, man, not a running back.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of a gift from God, but I definitely had tweaked it up a little bit, get the quality a little bit better, over the summer. But I definitely think that would be a gift from God that honestly I'm just thankful for. Yeah. I could play that type of position too.
Harlem Berry is our guest. By the way, Harlem is going to be holding his first autograph signing in Baton Rouge a week from Saturday, August the 24th. It's going to be over with my guy Bruce Fuselier at AJ Sports Cards on Drusilla. It's going to be from 1 to 3 p.m. We'll give you those details again. But again, a week from Saturday, you can meet Harlem, get an autograph. Be a really cool thing as he's entering his senior year of high school now. Let me, while we stay on the point of playing with Bryce, what is that relationship like with Bryce? Obviously, he's up in Michigan, but I would assume you guys have a chance to talk and visit from time to time. But what's that relationship like with Bryce Underwood?
Me and Bryce pretty cool. Definitely seen him on visits, talked to him through social media and stuff like that. But we building a connection to make something great at LSU. So it's definitely been great.
Who's the next guy in the class y'all are targeting, man? Like, who are y'all really pressuring to try to get in the class?
We just got Phillip that decommitted from Michigan.
Yep.
Definitely, I can't think off the top of my head.
That's all right, man.
Thank you off the top of my head. But, whoever LSU recruiting, we coming hard. So
all of them, no doubt. Hey, as you enter your senior year, by the way, I'm looking at your On3 profile. They got you at 5'10", 182. Is that current? Is that about what you are right now?
I got up to 185, but yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Do you think that's about where you're going to stay? Like, sometimes whenever you're a kid, doctors will project your growth chart to see like how tall you're going to be or something. Like, do you want to get bigger? Do you want to put on more size, or are you comfortable there about that 185 range?
Definitely, I'm definitely gonna get bigger, especially playing in the SEC. I'm not a power back, so I don't want to be too big, but I'm definitely gonna try to put on some more weight to be able to take those hits from those big old guys in the SEC.
Or better yet, just don't take the hits from them, man. Just dodge them. Right? Man, when you're a 5-star and you're the number one player in the state, the number one running back in the country, a top 20 player overall. I mean, I'd imagine when you're that different. Obviously, so much probably comes natural. It's not to say you don't work hard, but what would you say that you and your coaches want to work on in your senior season on your game?
Definitely, getting used to staying in between the tackles. 'Cause, high school and college is two different things. It's way easier to, run outside, make a lot of guys miss getting the end zone. But in college, that's definitely way harder than you can make it seem in high school. So that's definitely something I'm definitely trying to work on this season. And then, just motioning out the backfield, going line up at receiver. Because I did it in 7-on-7, but, we put the pads on and it's tackle. That's a little different. So definitely working on that too.
What you said you watched Leonard as a kid, some of your first memories. Is there a game or a play or a moment or a memory that like always sticks with you? Like every LSU fan's got, the first time they saw a fill-in-the-blank player and they became hooked. What was that like for you?
Oh, man. I mean, really, the first play that come to mind is that play, I want to say, against Ole Miss, I think. Clean flatline killed that man. Definitely that play right there.
You got to see too, man. The guy he ran over on that play, in his commitment announcement, he did a skydiving announcement. That kid from Ole Miss, he jumped out of an airplane and he had a GoPro or something. When he landed, he took off his jumpsuit and he had his Ole Miss stuff on. It didn't really work out for that guy.
Yeah, nah. It was like a freight train ran over like a bug or something. I don't know, man. Leonard killed that kid.
He did, man. Old playoff Lenny, LSU Lenny, man. They were all the Lennys we got to see were good, man. Hey, coming up a week from Saturday, August the 24th, over at AJ Sports Cards on Drusilla in Baton Rouge. You can have an autograph signing. I assume from 1 to 3. I guess you'll be doing photo ops as well. You like that, man? Do you like engaging and meeting fans and things like that?
Oh, yeah, definitely meeting fans, seeing people who follow me. That's definitely something I like to do, support the community and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool to me.
It's an NIL world, man. Is that something that excites you, the opportunity to go to college and have the opportunity to profit on name, image, and likeness?
Oh, yeah. That's real exciting, especially because, the new NCAA came out and I could finally be in the video game. So, and I get paid for being in the video game, too. So, yeah, it's definitely amazing how they know it's working.
Harlem, you can make a lot more money signing autographs and doing other things than just being in the video game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
but it goes to show you, man, a lot of people are excited to be in that game, man, which is awesome. Harlem Berry, 5-star running back down St. Martin Episcopal in Metairie. Again, y'all mark the date. It's coming up a week from Saturday, August the 24th. Harlem will be in Baton Rouge. If you want to meet him, get an autograph, you can. It'll be over at AJ Sports Cards. My guy Bruce Fuselier. I've known Bruce a long time, man. He does a great job if you're into collectibles and sports cards and things like that. That's on Drusilla in Baton Rouge, again, from 1 to 3 a week from Saturday. We'll make sure we share out all the info on all our social medias as well. Harlem, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for a couple of minutes today. Have a great senior season, man. We'll look forward to seeing you when you get to Baton Rouge.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course. It's our pleasure. That's Harlem Berry. Hit it, Muse, on the way out. Let me give it to him. I'm going to have to edit it, too, so we get you have it.
Jacob Berry. Jacob Berry.
Can I do it like this? I'll give you a drop, Muse, so then you can take it.
Well, right now? Okay.
I'm just going to take it, then you can take it. Harlem Berry. All right. Harlem Berry. So for those that don't know, you can take that and see. Let's mash it.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that started 2008 when Eric Berry was at Tennessee. That's where that started. and I was doing a show at the time with Josh Ennis, and because it was the Halle Berry song. For those who don't know. There might be young people who don't even know that song, but and it was Halle Berry, so we did an edit to make it Eric Berry, and then Jacob Berry came along. Now Harlem Berry. So you better believe we get a Berry roll through here. Not a lot of berries between Eric and Jacob.
Big gap. Yeah.
We had almost 15 years. You know, I just feel fortunate that went from Jacob to Harlem in such a short amount of time. Jacob Berry. Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does.
Smile on your face.
Get you moving a little bit.
Brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Hey, look, this past Saturday during the Saints game, you probably saw that ad for the LDI, the Louisiana Department of Insurance, where they were promoting the Fortified Roof Program. If you're not familiar, a fortified roof, I'm going to way oversimplify this for you. Fortified roof is basically adding layers of protection to your roof to prevent water intrusion. So a storm comes, blows shingles off and all. Yeah, that's still going to happen, but the real damage comes when you have water intrusion and now the interior of the home is damaged. Now it's cutting sheetrock and losing furniture and all that stuff. So insurance companies, depending on your company, will give you up to a 50% discount on your premiums if you have a fortified roof. And the state of Louisiana offers a $10,000 grant to replace your roof if you build a fortified roof, or if you install a fortified roof, I should say. Well, at Parish, we are a certified fortified roofing company. So we can help you. We can not only install a fortified roof, but we can help you go through the whole process. Like with the state, there's like regulations, of course, and then like when you get in the queue, it's only when that window is open to get in the queue. There's a lot of different stuff like that. We can help you with the whole process. So go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. One word, parishbuilt.com. There's a button on the homepage. You'll see the green fortified button. You can tap that, get all the info you want about fortified roofing, or you could fill out that form right there on the homepage. I mean, right when you go to the homepage, you fill out the form, and it'll give you and you just fill out fortified roof, and then boom, we'll help you. We can help you through the whole process. It's at Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. It's Parish Construction and Roofing. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We had Harlem Berry there. He was just getting out of school, and he's going to practice, so that was the window we could get him. So let me break, come back, and then we'll do Around the SEC. Julian Council, who covers the Panthers, in about 30 minutes, and then Robert DeSanto will be here. He's Dylan Battle's high school head coach. Dylan Battle's the defensive line commit that LSU got earlier in the week. He'll be with us about 45 minutes from right now. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, I'm so fired up. Tomorrow, I'm going by and seeing the new showroom for Duplessis Builders. It's open. I'll tell you more about it. Better believe I'll be taking pictures and videos on social to be able to tell you more. But you've heard me talk about Duplessis Builders for a couple of months now. And if you've been thinking about installing a pool, if maybe you're looking at the pool at the home you bought or built years ago that's due for a renovation or a remodel, Duplessis Builders can handle all of it. I'm excited to tell you about their brand new showroom, which is now open in Prairieville. First, go to the website, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Easy, duplessisbuilders.net. You're from Louisiana, you know how to spell Duplessis. Duplessisbuilders.net. They'll build you a beautiful pool, but there's a lot of companies that build a beautiful pool. The differentiator for Duplessis is the quality of the craftsmanship. They take the time to do it right. It's going to take longer, but they're building a premium product, and that's why you get a 10-year workmanship warranty. It's Duplessis Builders, duplessisbuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Let's make us some time here. Let's hurry and go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
Gator legacy C.J. Ingram has pledged to Florida basketball. He's out of Orlando. Florida tight end Cornelius Ingram, remember him? Won a pair of national championships with the Gators. Yeah, it's his son. He's playing basketball at Florida now. 6'6", 195, number 73 overall, number 11 in the country.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Cornerback Mark Davis Jr. out for the season due to injury. He tore his Achilles. Clark Lee confirmed here on Thursday. Davis joined the Commodores in June after transferring in from Southern Illinois. He was a Saluki, Northern Illinois, the Huskies. That's right, got it. Yep, nailed it. Davis suffered the injury in July during workouts prior to fall camp. We're only now learning about it. They're already without transfer cornerback Marlon Jones Jr., who had personal health issues before enrolling in 2025. Oh, and also this. SEC quarterbacks on the Manning Award watch list. Notable omission.
Yep.
Carson Beck, Brady Cook, Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Graham Mertz, Jalen Milroe. No Nussbus. Of course, Jaden Daniels won it a year ago. That's what I think about the Manning watch list. There you have it. That is around the SEC. Presented by Evermore. I need a sip of Evermore after that, Muse. Need to wet my whistle for all the yelling I'm about to do about that Manning Award. I mean, J-Rock won the first ever Manning Award, right?
Was it the first ever? I can look
Almost
that up.
certain that J-Rock won the first one back in 06. Could be wrong. Been wrong before. Will be wrong again. Burrow, of course, won it. Jaden won it. Huh.
Matt Leinart, 2004, the first Manning Award.
Been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Did Vince Young win it in 05?
Vince Young did win it in 05.
And then J-Rock in 06.
And then J-Rock, yes, indeed.
Get you some Evermore. Better source of hydration. Man, we're changing out. Well, we weren't changing. But we had to replace the AC at our home in our bedroom. And, man, the guys worked so hard. Shout out to the crew that was at the house replacing the AC. But, man, I can imagine being up in the attic all day, whether you're in the attic, whether you're just working out, whether it's just part of your daily life. You want a healthier source of hydration, you want Evamore. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. Evamore.com. You can buy online at Evamore.com. Also available at great local retailers. When you go to the website, hit the tab, you'll see Find a Store. You can find the store nearest you where you can buy Evamore in your location with national distributions. Go to hit the tab, hit the Find a Store tab. On the top left, the little 3 bars, the little hamburger as they call it. And then you'll hit Find a Store. And you can find the store nearest you where you can buy Evamore. Natural artesian water, Evamore.com. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Oh, Amazon. Have you seen this? Amazon's released the trailer for The Money Game. The Money Game, that's the Amazon NIL documentary that Shaq produced with a bunch of the LSU student-athletes in it. Livy Dunn, Angel Reese, Mondo Duplantis, Jaden Daniels. Of course, I'm excited to see it because they were filming that while Jaden was in New York for the Heisman ceremony. So I'm curious what they'll have around there. But the trailer's out. If you want to check it out, you can. It's The Money Game. It's coming up soon. All right, hour number 2 right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Hey, if you're in the market for a vehicle, or if you might be in the market for a vehicle, put Volkswagen on your list. I've told you that for years now, and so many of you have listened, and you've been thrilled. I love getting messages all the time. Hey, man, we bought an Atlas, we bought a Cross Sport, bought my son, my daughter's going off to college, bought them a Jetta. The great thing there's so many great things about Volkswagens, but you get the style, the feel, the performance of a luxury vehicle. You get the great German engineering, the gas mileage, all the safety features. You support American jobs because they're manufactured right here in the U.S. of A. at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. And you get it all without the cost. Great deals going on always. The back-to-school savings right now. You can learn more at the website at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206 9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Our Adam Schefter reports Bills linebacker Matt Milano will be out indefinitely with a torn biceps. He'll have surgery, hoping to be back on the field in December. Bills coach Sean McDermott.
Certainly tough, especially coming off of the year he came off of already. The good thing is he's got a good family behind him that are going to support him, teammates that are going to support him, as well as the coaching staff and our entire football organization. You know, he's resilient. We've got to be resilient. We've got to move forward and be focused on solutions.
Sean McDermott. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin says quarterback Russell Wilson should make his preseason debut against the Bills Saturday night. Wilson's been dealing with a calf injury. Baseball today, battle of first-place teams in Milwaukee. The Brewers beat the Dodgers 6-4 thanks to 3 runs in the 8th inning. In the first, Jackson Chourio hit a 2-run homer for Milwaukee. Tigers beat the Mariners 2-1. Javi Baez with a 2-run homer in the 8th for Detroit.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, Jordan Love got his money. I'll tell you what he needs to do if he wants to be viewed as the best quarterback in the conference. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Julian Council in about 15 minutes. He covers the Panthers. We'll get our last check-in, on the NFC South. And Robert DeSanto will be with us bottom of this hour. He is Dylan Battles, high school football coach Dylan Battles, the defensive tackle that committed to LSU earlier this week. So looking forward to that conversation. By the way, if you missed it, we had 5-star #1 running back in the country, Harlem Berry, with us last hour.
Jacob Berry.
Oh, we don't have it yet? Okay, all right.
That one takes a little bit of time because I have to go back and get that instrumental and then mash it up with it. So that one's going to probably has to be tomorrow. That's why when you're like, here, I'll cut it. I'm like, well, it's just not. I mean, I could pull the dry version of it, but that's not going to be good. That's not going to be the same.
You disappoint me, Sir Knight. Monty Python. A guy that might be on this list in the future, Harlem Berry. ESPN put out its top 100 players of the college football season. Interesting exercise to try this. The top 100 players in the country. I want to remind you, there are 134 FBS schools now. So you got 134 FBS schools. I could multiply the 85 scholarship players, but really, it's not even about 85 scholarship players. Let's just say it's the 22 starters. So if you've got 134 Division I schools or FBS schools, 22 starters, that's 2,948 starters. I mean, hey Siri, what's 134 times 85? That's 11,390, okay? So there's 11,390 scholarship players in the FBS. There's 2,948 there's 3,000 starters in the FBS. Trying to find the 100 best players is an ambitious task. But there are 5 college football experts over at ESPN who got together through 4 rounds of voting and then conversation. They came up with their list. James Pierce from Tennessee, the defensive end, was the number 1 player on the list. It's probably a surprise to some. I mean, I think most of us assumed it would have been a quarterback. But in 2 seasons at Tennessee, 16.5 TFLs and 12 sacks. You'd think Harold Perkins might be around in that category as well with those numbers. Perkins actually has more TFLs in 2 seasons than Pierce, but whatever. Mason Graham, the sophomore defensive tackle from Michigan, number 2 on the list. Travis Hunter, number 3. Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, number 4. Luther Burden, 5. And then there we find Will Campbell, number 6 on the list, 6th best player in college football for the 2024 season, according to this ESPN list. You don't have to go too far till you get to Harold Perkins. They got Perk at number 14. I know there's a lot of people who are excited to see Perkins in this sort of queen piece on the chessboard role. I know I'm in that number. I know earlier this week I was talking about the interception by Paris Shand at the line of scrimmage and how Shand got the deflection and the interception. I was talking to Jacques Doucet earlier today. I was actually on his podcast, and I guess he reminded me like it was actually Perkins that got the deflection and Shand got the interception. So Perkins continues to affect the game in so many ways. And then Emory Jones, LSU's other starting tackle, number 47 in the country. So both LSU and Alabama have 2 offensive linemen on the list of the top 100 players in America. Of course, with LSU, it's Campbell and Jones, your bookend tackles. That was it. There were 3 LSU players on the list. I shouldn't say that was like that's it, because obviously that's super impressive. If you're worrying or wondering about the rest of the SEC, Georgia had 6 players on the list. Alabama had 5. Let's see. Texas had 4. Ole Miss had 3, along with LSU. And then Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas A&M had 2 apiece. And Ohio State led all schools with 8 selections. When I saw this, I thought, okay, well, who's not on the list that should be? And I think we probably default and say, well, why isn't Nussmeier on the list? Well, Nussmeier started 1 game in his college career. It's hard to justify putting Garrett Nussmeier on a list like this. Or even, I know we talked about the Manning watch list last hour, and Nuss wasn't on the Manning watch list, although there were 6 SEC quarterbacks. Well, when you've started 1 career game, it's hard to justify. He's going to have to earn it. So I do sort of understand that. The guy who I think has a chance, like at the end of the season, to be on this list that's not there now is Mason Taylor. Because when you look at Taylor, I'm bullish for a couple of reasons. Obviously, he's played a lot of football. He's a 2-year starter. He's healthy. He has gotten bigger. He's up to 255 pounds, maybe 260 pounds. So he looks like Kelsey and Kittle and like those prototype tight ends. He's starting to look like that as he fills out his frame. You know he's got the pass-catching athleticism to make all those plays. But the other reason is, his numbers last year were good, but I do think that they're going to be better because there's going to be more targets. What LSU did a year ago, I'm not saying they were wrong to do it the way they did. Obviously, they had the best offense in college football. But Malik Neighbors had 89 receptions. Brian Thomas had 68. Mason Taylor was next with 36, about half the number of receptions that Brian Thomas had. So when you take Neighbors and Thomas, I mean, that's 150 receptions. That's not even considering the targets. That's just 150 receptions that have to go somewhere else. Even if Kyron Lacy goes from 30 to 60, doubles his total, that's still 120 receptions that have to go somewhere. And they're going to divvy up to C.J. Daniels and Chris Hilton, and I think that Taylor will get his 30 and then probably maybe another 15 or 20, get to 45, 50 receptions this year. And so I think he should challenge and probably surpass Thad Moss for the single-season LSU record for a tight end for receptions and receiving yards. And I don't know that he blows that number out of the water because there's such an abundance of talent at LSU among the pass catchers that I don't know that you're going to have one guy like Neighbors had 89 catches for nearly 1,600 yards. I don't know that you hit that number again. But could you see Kyron Lacy, C.J. Daniels, each with 55, 60 receptions, and then someone like Chris Hilton with another 45, 50 receptions? Yeah, and then I could see Taylor in that range as well. And now the numbers start to even to what it was a year ago. So I could very much see that playing out. But I think Taylor's one of those guys that could be there by the end of the year that's not there now. And I understand why he isn't now, but by the end of the year could. There was another interesting piece up at ESPN.com that I saw earlier today. It was college football sleepers. I want to get to that in just a quick second. Remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Get rid of contacts and glasses forever, y'all. If you want to ditch contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can help. And Dr. Blake Williamson is just the best. Whether you're nearsighted like I was, LASIK could be the option. If you're farsighted, maybe you have astigmatism, the custom lens replacement could be for you. Maybe you had LASIK years ago, you're having other issues now. PRK could be the answer. Our guy, Jake Hester, had LASIK years ago when he was playing. Just recently here, went to the Williamson Eye Center, had PRK. If you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, there's a way to do it. The Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020. 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. So, in conjunction with this top 100 list that ESPN did, they did 32 sleepers under the radar names in college football. Interestingly, they did have Jordan Clark on the list. Of course, Jordan Clark from U-High in Baton Rouge, started his career at Arizona State, is now a senior who transferred for his final year, his graduate year, to Notre Dame. So he's there on Marcus Freeman's team. Of course, that's Ryan Clark's son. And, I mean, maybe I'm a little biased here. Okay, I'm very biased here. But, I mean, I've seen Jordan work out of traction since he was a kid and all the work he's put in, and he played a ton. He played a ton at Arizona State. Last year, played 11 games, and, has really been a contributor since he showed up on campus there. But now he's going to Notre Dame. He'll play safety this year for the Irish, and it would be great to see Jordan Clark. Interestingly, of the 32 players listed, no LSU players on the sleeper or the under the radar list. If I were going to give you one, I'd give you one on each side of the ball. I would give you Chris Hilton offensively because I've gone on record saying this. I think Lacy and Daniels are probably your leaders when it comes to receptions and receiving yards. I think Chris Hilton is your leader in touchdown receptions because he's going to be like Brian Thomas was a year ago with the big playability. So Hilton, I think, is one of those guys that's the sleeper offensively and defensively. He's not a sleeper to us because a lot of fans know him, love him, and are excited to watch him, but it's Whit Weeks because the nation doesn't know who Whit Weeks is yet. But I think they will. You're going to see a healthy rotation with Greg Penn and West Weeks as well. But we've seen so many formations where when Harold Perkins steps up to the line of scrimmage, the lone off-ball linebacker is 40. And I think he's going to play a ton. And he might end up being LSU's leading tackler this year. And if he is, the nation's going to get to know his name. Almost here, y'all. 2 weeks from Sunday, LSU kicks it off out in the desert against Southern Cal. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We're inching closer to the start of the NFL season as well. If you missed the news just a bit ago, breaking in the NFL, the Atlanta Falcons have signed Justin Simmons a day after they traded for Matthew Judon. Falcons are they're in it to win it now, man. Maybe they're making nice with Kirk Cousins after using the 8th overall pick to draft a quarterback in Michael Penix, but certainly fortifying that defense on the other side, adding Judon, now adding Justin Simmons as well. So what about Carolina? They were the worst team in the NFL a year ago. Got to be better, right? Well, how much better? We'll ask Julian Council when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Tell you all the time you've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. And how about it right now? The Gordon McKernan Injury Attorney Billboard Contest is back. You can go to getgordon.com/billboards, getgordon.com/billboards. Go to getgordon.com/billboards and get all the info right there about how you can win up to $2,000 in prizes and, of course, the opportunity to see your billboard design on the interstate. It's easy. It's Gordon McKernan's Design My Billboard contest. Go to getgordon.com/billboards to get all the deets, of course. And remember, by the way, the entries are due September the 8th. That's what I forgot to tell you. September the 8th. So you got a little time, but you got about 3 weeks. But get to work now. Get Gordon and get it done.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, taking a trip around the division this week. We've already visited Atlanta. Yesterday was Tampa. Let's head up to Charlotte. Our buddy Julian Council, Locked On Panthers, good enough to join us. Get a little check-in on Carolina, of course, the Saints' Week 1 opponent. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm great, Matt. You know, I've been waiting a while to be on your show, man. I had to wear my Carolina shirt today to let everybody know down in Baton Rouge who their daddy is in postseason college baseball. So good to talk to you, man.
I was like, where is he going with this? That's a strange flex whenever you've literally never won anything in baseball or football.
It's the only flex I have on LSU, so I'm going to use it when I get a chance.
It's just not a great flex, though, Julian. I mean, LSU's won 7 national titles in baseball. They're the greatest program in the history of the sport. And because you won a regional against a not great LSU team?
It's not just regionals. Every time we see you in Omaha, send you packing. So just wanted to remind y'all.
Okay. All right. That's still a weird flex, man. But okay, you can have it. I'll just go over to
Just
LSU.
let me have it. That's all
I'll
I
go
want.
count the national championship trophies. You can have the regional win. Hey, is Bryce Young going to be any better this year?
Yeah, he'll be better. He has to be better considering he was the worst quarterback in the league in a lot of categories last year. You look at QBR, you look at his passing success rate. Wasn't great. Like the only other guys at the bottom with him were like Zach Wilson, who's no longer in New York with the Jets. He's now in Denver, I think, like as their third string quarterback, and then Will Levis up in Tennessee. But it's not like he had the biggest sample size anyways. I look at it as this is a line of scrimmage game. And if you're bad up front, especially on the offensive line, you're not going to have success. And last year, they had 7 different left guards, 8 different right guards, and their left tackle, who they drafted in the first round a year before, Ike Ekwonu, was not good. And I think having 7 different guys next to him at left guard was a big reason why that was the case. Bradley Bozeman, their center, who I thought was pretty solid for them in 2022, he was dealing the same situation, having different guys next to him. Bryce just didn't have a chance up front. And then on the outside, Adam Thielen, at age 33, did not expect him to have a 100-catch, 1,000-yard receiving season. Only 4 touchdowns, though, which speaks to just how poor they were when in the red zone and just in the passing game overall. DJ Chark, down at LSU guy, he was not very good for them last year. He's now moved on, I believe, he's a Charger. He was disappointing. Miles Sanders was disappointing. Hayden Hurst was disappointing. All of these free agent moves that they made, plus the offensive line, just didn't help them. Now, with Robert Hunt coming in and Damian Lewis coming in, another LSU guy, of course, and bringing in Deontay Johnson via trade, I feel like they have more weapons. I feel like they have an offensive line up front that can protect him and at least give him a chance. Where last year, sure, he wasn't great. He had his own inefficiencies, but everything around him was unbelievably screwed up.
Yeah, and they went and got Xavier Legette in round 1 as well. How's the rookie first rounder looking so far?
He hasn't been healthy over the last week, so he had a foot injury about 2 Sundays back, MRI on it, came back negative. It was a scare for the team, but they were able to get past that. They had joint practices today against the Jets, and he was out there for individual drills. Same was the case on Wednesday and Monday, but he wasn't out there in any of the team periods, so he hasn't made an impact at all. And you look at other guys like Terrace Marshall Jr. actually had a pretty good day today, and Jonathan Mingo, they have been disappointing so far in their Panthers careers. So there's the open door there at wide receiver 3 for Legette to come out and actually be an impact player. It just needs him to be healthy and to actually make impact when he's out on the field. Because when he was healthy early on in training camp, even when the pads first went on, I didn't see anything from him that really stood out to me, making me believe that this guy is going to be even a resemblance of what we saw last year at South Carolina. And understand, he was there for 5 years, and it took until the final season for him to finally do something. And people bring up how he had different quarterbacks every year and how, quarterback play hasn't really been great down in Columbia until Spencer Rattler the last couple of seasons, different head coaches, different wide receiver coaches, his own injuries, a lot of reasons, but also excuses why this guy took until the final year of his career to finally break out. I was skeptical of the pick because of that. And so far, I haven't seen anything to lead me to not be skeptical based off of what I've seen from him when he's been out there. Okay. But he's got to get healthy first before he's going to be able to be an impact player this season and beyond in the future.
That's fair. You know what's interesting? And Julian Council is our guest. He's on Twitter at Julian Council. You want to give him a follow? You want to go heckle him about the Carolina dig? You can do it. By the way, you went to Elon, man. What are you even doing trying to flex with take a Carolina flex? You're an Elon grad.
I am an Elon grad. My parents went to Carolina. Family's had a restaurant in Chapel Hill for like 50 years. So my ties in Chapel Hill aren't deep at all.
All right, I'll accept it. You know what's weird? I look at Carolina's roster. Okay, I'm talking about the Panthers now, not the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I know.
You mentioned Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo. You mentioned Terrace Marshall, Damian Lewis. And defensively, like Ashawn Robinson's there now, Jadeveon Clowney. Like, there's so many names. Right? Like, almost like, why aren't they better? Or is it just that all these guys are old and not what they once were? Piece this together for me, right? Like, am I missing this? Do you understand what I'm saying? It feels like they should be better given the talent they have on this roster.
Well, that's been the case for years now. Looking at this franchise, they had DJ Moore. He just got another big deal in Chicago. He was outstanding last year for Justin Fields, and I imagine he's going to be outstanding this year for Caleb Williams throwing the football. You look at Christian McCaffrey. He's only the best running back in the league. Alvin Kamara's been good, but come on, McCaffrey's on a different level, and they traded him away in pursuit of Bryce Young. They've had good players. Brian Burns was a good player. He's no longer here. Jeremy Chin, he was a good player. He got phased out of Ejiro Evero to D.C. here in Carolina's scheme last year, but he's good. Frankie Louva was a diamond in the rough that they found a couple years ago, and he turned out to be one of their better players defensively and on the team period last season. So, yeah, you bring up a lot of names. Like J.C. Horn, if he's ever healthy, will show just how good he is. The problem is, there's been 51 games that he's been eligible to play. He's only played in 22 of them.
Wow.
That's just not good enough. Derek Brown has been outstanding. He's never going to be the kind of pass rusher that people hope he'll be. Wasn't really at that in the SEC at Auburn anyways, but he's been a great player. That's why they paid him. There are solid players on this roster. I just don't think the depth of talent is where it needs to be. And the guys that they anticipate being marquee players for them just have not been healthy, or they're playing for other teams. So I understand. Like A'Shawn Robinson, I don't know if he's the guy that I would point out as I think it's going to be his fourth team at this point in time. Like Josie Jewell's been good. There are some name players, but Adam Thielen's 34 now. He's a long way away from being one of the best receivers in the league. And last year, I feel like his numbers were based off of just the need for someone to do something, as no one else around him was. There are solid players here, but overall, just the talent on the roster is not to the point where you would legitimately think that this team is anything more than a team that's likely picking in the top 5 again this season. But in the past, they have certainly had players.
Is Tepper going to let Dave Canales coach the team?
I hope. I can't sit here and say that with any confidence. I'm sitting in this boat thinking until Tepper is not the owner, this is just going to be the Carolina Panthers. This was not a franchise that was bad. This was a middle-of-the-road franchise, 8-9, 9-8, or I guess it was really 8-8, 9-7 back when they had 16 games. That's what they were. A team that's been to the Super Bowl twice in their 30 seasons, and they had Cam Newton, Jake Delhomme. They had success. And since Tepper took over, and he moved on from Cam, moved on from Ron Rivera, brought in Matt Rule, and that was a disaster, brought in Frank Reich after not keeping Steve Wilkes around, who had them playing their best ball they played since Tepper has taken over as the owner. He's made every wrong mistake. I look at the soccer team here in town. They're only in their 3rd year, and surprisingly so, which you shouldn't be surprised if you know David Tepper and how he operates. They're on their 3rd head coach. And this has finally been the year where things are working out. So Dave Canales is David Tepper's 3rd head coach that he's hired on the football side, the American football side. Maybe 3rd time's a charm here with him, as it has been so far with Charlotte FC and with Dean Smith and that franchise making some of the right moves and actually sitting in a playoff picture. So I'm hopeful that Dave Canales is getting to coach the team and make the decisions alongside Dan Morgan, the general manager. As long as David Tepper's in that room, it's going to be really tough to trust this team until they actually do things on Sundays in the fall, win.
I totally thought you were going to go the opposite direction. I had no idea they had fired 3 coaches in a row. With
the
Charlotte
first coach
FC.
lasted 14 matches, Matt. They were given the team. They had 18 months before they were going to play their first match. And this is not like football where the amount of guys that you can pull as far as coaches, it's not that deep for NFL coaches. But in soccer, it's an entire globe.
Yes, the globe.
And the man lasted 14 matches. What are we doing?
So good. I kind of love him. I don't want to work for him, but I want to observe the carnage from a distance, which is actually pretty comical. Condolences, though, that you got to cover it. Although it might make for great content. He's on Twitter at Julian Council, Locked On Panthers. Make sure you're subscribed. You have you had a guess on a win total? Where do you think you said they're picking top 10, top 5 of the draft. Where do you think they land?
I keep telling people they won 2 games last year. What if I told you they could triple their win total?
6?
That's 6 games.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. When you say 6-11, doesn't sound good. You say triple your win total. Sounds pretty nice.
Yeah. Perspective matters, man. Good stuff as always. We appreciate the time. All the best.
Absolutely, man.
Later, man. Hopefully soon you get a natty in baseball, but not likely. He's gone. There he goes. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, Robert DeSanto will join us. He's Dylan Battle's high school head coach. Dylan Battle, of course, the latest defensive tackle commit for LSU. That's next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. Check them out online at glowresources.com, glowresources.com. At Glow Resources, they like to say, we are complete employer solutions, because at Glow Resources, they're not a temp staffing agency. They don't want, if you're an employee, they don't want you knocking on their door. They'll find you. Who they're interested in talking to is you, the business owner. They work for you on your timeline to get done what you need done. It's Glow Resources. Online at glowresources.com. They'll analyze what your needs are. Have you used a third party before? They'll look at your criteria. They'll analyze their network, see what lines up. And maybe the most important thing I can say is their success rate. At Glow Resources, they've got a 93% success rate when it comes to hiring someone for your business. You want to be done with the rat race, all the inefficiency of not having the right people? You need Glow Resources. Online at glowresources.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Well, Brian Kelly and the Tigers got good news earlier this week when defensive tackle Dylan Battle out of Arlington, Texas, pledged, becoming LSU's 22nd commit of the class of 2025. His high school coach there at Mansfield Timberview, Robert DeSanto, good enough to join us on the show for a couple of minutes here. Coach, it's a pleasure. How are you?
Good, man. Great. How are you doing? Just trying to brave this Texas heat.
Man, it may not be Texas heat here, but when it's 97 degrees with heat indexes around 105, 110 every day, I think we can empathize at least a bit. Hey, man, tell us about, I want to talk about Dylan, the player, but tell us about Dylan, the kid first, the kid you get to coach every day.
I mean, he's a kid with a lot of like love and energy in his heart, man. He's fun loving. He always wants to get in there and cut it up and clown around with the guys and just be the center of attention. He lights up the room when he gets out there and gets going. I can't say enough about the energy he brings and the love he has for the game. Saw a lot of maturity and growing up this past off season. I think a lot of it had to do with him being able to go through some stuff in his spring that we didn't think and we didn't know was going to happen, and he had to do some rehab on his shoulder, and he didn't get to really do a lot of full contact stuff in the spring, and I think it really, really energized him and made him miss and love the game. And you see it in him on the field, but now you see it in him in everything that he does in his life, which is awesome and outstanding.
That is really good, man. It's we can always talk about talented kids. I mean, when you got a long offer list, obviously these kids can play football, but it's always interesting too to hear about the person behind the recruiting profile that people always talk about. Bo Davis was recruiting Dylan to Texas. Obviously, Bo comes to LSU, and Dylan ends up at LSU. Was there any contact with LSU before Bo Davis got to Baton Rouge?
So earlier, previously, way down the line, there was a little bit. Even before I became the head coach, I've been the offensive coordinator here for 12 years, but I was working under my predecessor, James Brown, and he had contacts with them, but nothing as hardcore as what Bo did when he came in. And I think it speaks volumes to not only just Dylan's commitment to the Tigers, but Dylan's commitment to Bo, because as soon as Bo left Texas, I was shocked when he knocked on my door one day. And I said, I didn't realize Dylan was that high on LSU's board. And his exact words were, I don't know if he's high on their board. I really hadn't even been to the office yet, but he's high on my board. And he's a guy that I want no matter where I'm at. So I think that relationship that they have is definitely something that played favors for not only Dylan, Bo, but the LSU fan base in itself.
Coach, you mind if I just dig in a little deeper there? Robert DeSanto is with us, Mansfield Timberview head coach. That's where Dylan Battle, LSU defensive tackle commit, attends high school. Because look, in your position, you obviously have coaches from all over the country, recruiters coming through your office all the time. That's the life of a high school coach. I mean, you have to help your players manage this. In what way can you describe for us how Bo Davis differentiates from the dozens and dozens of other college coaches and recruiters that come through your office?
I think Bo has the respect of not only the players that he recruits, but the parents that he comes in contact with, because he keeps it real with them. He tells them the truth. Not only is he there to tell them exactly what's going to happen. I'm not going to sell you, a bill of goods, but I'm also going to tell you how I'm going to take care of your young man, and I'm going to do all the things that I need to do to make him a better man in the end. And it's not just about football. I mean, obviously those guys, they get paid a lot of money, and winning games is very, very important as a college football coach. But I think with him and what sold Dylan and sold Dylan's family is that they felt like Bo Davis was going to help him continue to grow up and mature and become the young man that he needed to be.
Let's talk a little bit about Dylan, the football player. Entering his senior season, what are his greatest strengths there on the interior?
I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a big man with his size. Now, we've had guys that are, a little squattier bodied, heavy just like Dylan, but, just not that height and just all the tools that are as quick as he is. I mean, you're talking about a big man that is 300 to 310 and 6'3", that is like cat quick. I mean, all big men, they're not going to be like blazing fast down the field, but you put Dylan in a 5 to 10 yard box, and I don't care what skill guy it is, there ain't going to be very many that can beat him. His hands, his feet, everything are cat quick. In fact, we work both sides of the ball here, because we believe it or not, is big of a high school we are. we don't have the depth that we have on both sides of the football. Dylan can actually catch the ball very well and can block and play tight end. He's a very versatile athlete.
All right, trick plays.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Let's get a big man touchdown. I love to hear that. That's great news. Where would you say in his senior season that you all are going to work most with him on improving before he gets to Baton Rouge?
So I think and this is something that we're so excited to be able to do. We've had some other young kids come on for us to be able to take on the nose position. And our ultimate goal has been to figure out how we get Dylan singled up as much as we can. So whether he's playing a 3-tech, a 4-tech, or head up 2, just get him out of that nose position and get off those double teams and just let him wreak havoc. I mean, he spent the last 2 years just eating every double team that came his way. Guys that weren't able to handle him, he'd be able to split and make plays. But single him up, let him wreak havoc. And so, therefore, what he needs to be able to work on is, I think, his one-on-one pass rush. Just because, not because it's something that he's bad at, it's just something he's never really gotten a chance to do. He's never played a 4. He's always been that nose, that interior guy, battling through multiple offensive guys to get to the quarterback, and just kind of been a run stopper more or less. But now I'm really, really happy and excited and curious to see how his game develops, playing that 3, playing on the guard more, even on the tackles. We play our 3 down front, and he's got going to get to be a 4-tech.
Does Mansfield Timberview allow guys to graduate early? Like, would Dylan be a guy that would enroll early at LSU for spring?
He could, and I'm not gonna put anything out there that I'm not 100% on.
Sure.
I know he was working towards some things in the summertime to get ahead. I'm not 100% sure where he is falling on that, but I do remember some of our conversations in the spring that he did have aspirations of that.
Coach, is Arlington more Longhorn, Aggie, Horned Frog country up there?
Yeah, I would say more Horned Frog and Longhorn than anything in this neck of the woods. I mean, obviously we're a lot closer to Fort Worth, so you got a lot of TCU, but I mean anywhere, I guess, except for places that are centered around College Station in Texas. It's hard to get away from the Horn.
Oh man, I get it. They can be all right with some purple and gold in the stands there on Friday nights this fall?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we love them all. We love to put all our guys out there. We've got a safety that just committed to Utah. In fact, he had an opportunity to go to Texas, and he decided to go to Utah so he felt like he could play more and quicker, and get himself on the field. And so, we're used to these guys and their position that they get to be in and showcase their talents and then go on to do bigger and better things at the next level.
Great stuff. Coach Robert DeSanto there at Mansfield Timberview. Coaches Dylan Battle, LSU new defensive tackle commitment. We appreciate a couple of minutes, Coach, today. Best of luck this fall there in Arlington. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the very same. It's our pleasure. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. More than 30 locations across a dozen different states. You know where they are. Of course, you can always go to the website at Michelli.com. I would always encourage you. You weigh or measure something, get to the website. And look, they have so many different services. Really, their calibration services are one of the things that differentiate. If it's electronic calibration, environmental, force, lab balance, mass, physical dimensional, pressure calibration, scale calibration, they do it all. And of course, accuracy matters most. If you need ISO 17025 accredited calibration, they do that as well over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. So check them out online. Go to the website, hit the calibration tab. If you need scales or other services, they can help you there as well. It's a great resource at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, more than 75 years, still locally owned and operated right here in Louisiana at their Harahan office. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. All right, y'all. Appreciate Coach DeSanto for a couple of minutes there. Good conversation. I love hearing about Dylan Battle, the player, but also, sometimes you look at, we're all guilty of it. You can look at a recruiting ranking, maybe make certain assumptions, but he told you there in his career, like he's never been able, he's basically been playing a zero-tech nose. So sometimes guys maybe don't have the stats that pop because they're just eating up blocks when you're that big, but and also, how about a two-way player as well? That was pretty interesting. Cat quick, so he can catch passes, play some tight end. So a really athletic big man, and I love the convo there with Bo Davis as well. So good stuff, good perspective. We appreciate Coach DeSanto for a couple of minutes. All right, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break. All right, we'll come back. Muse will handle Tigers and the pros, and then after the top of the hour, Ross Jackson will be here. A couple of big stories out of Saints camp. If you haven't heard the news, Justin Simmons, the former Pro Bowl safety that the Saints were courting, he is signed with the Atlanta Falcons. So he'll be in the division, unfortunately, not in the black and gold. 1 year, $8 million deal on the cheap, and the Saints couldn't get him. And then Taliese Fuaga left practice today with what Dennis Allen described as back. Not even a back. She said back, one word. So we'll see if Ross Jackson can fill in any of the blanks for us here in about 15 minutes. We're glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. You can always check them out online, actionindinc.com, actionindinc.com. Of course, you need work done inside the fence. Action Industries can do it. Exemplary safety record, and they do beautiful work, which is how their repeat business has been so high for so many years. But Action Industries also offers fabrication shop services, pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels. Not everyone does that, of course. And when it comes to pipe, they fabricate in separate shops, alloy, carbon steel. The two sections are segregated. They're ASME certified as well. So the ASME, issues 3 stamps, R, S, and U. They got them all over at Action Industries. Food grade fabrication. One of the largest coffee brands in America, one of the largest coffee brands in the world, works with Action Industries. So you want to learn more, you can. If you're a maintenance manager, if you're a turnaround coordinator, you need to get to know Action Industries.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Right now, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
It's become sort of tradition here in Tigers in the Pros as of late to begin with Josh Smith, so let's just do it again. Another great night for Smitty and the Texas Rangers. 3 for 6 in the ball game against Boston last night for Smith. 2 of those 3 hits doubles, bringing his total to 23 now on the season. But the big highlight from him actually came in the field. This was in the 2nd inning. Ceddanne Rafaela just hits an absolute scorcher down the third base line. No problem for Josh Smith, though. Dives, stops, gets to his feet, makes the throw in plenty of time against a pretty speedy runner in Rafaela. So a 3-hit night and flashing the leather. All around good day at the park for Josh Smith. Jake Fraley, really nice day for him at the ballpark last night. 2 for 4 in the ball game. Both of those singles, one of them driving in a run, part of a 9-run output by the Cincinnati Reds, and they got the victory there. To minor league baseball, let's start in single A. Let's start with Riley Cooper. Get another start for Delmarva. Goes 3 1/3, gives up 1 run, punches out 3. It's been a really, really under-the-radar good first full year in professional baseball for Riley Cooper.
All he does is get guys out, man.
A 3.11 ERA. Like, all the focus has been on Morgan. Yeah, Morgan and Cruz. Cooper's had a really, really solid season. A couple guys to get to here in Double-A. We'll start with Paul Gervais, Montgomery Biscuits. Remember, he got called up. 1 shutout inning, perfect. As a matter of fact, 2 punch-outs to go along. He was facing the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, which means Jacob Berry.
Jacob Berry.
That drop's gotten a lot of run today.
I know.
2 for
Wearing
4.
it out.
Yeah, 2 for 4 last night for Berry. Both of those singles, he did come around to score twice as well. So each time they got him around the bases to score there. And Hunter Fiducia, our guy. I mean, all he does is hit, man.
Let's get him.
All he does is hit and hit bombs. Look at this swing. Part of a 2-hit night. He hit it. Matt, he hit it over the swimming pool in right center field. Watch it bounce. Look at this.
Boom.
This over the pool.
Boom.
For Hunter Fiducia. RBI, 3 runs scored for our guy, Hunter Fiducia.
Call him up, you cowards.
Hopefully he gets back up there, man, or at least use him as a trade or something. The WNBA is back tonight. Angel Reese on the floor. Remember, she's averaging a double-double, leading the WNBA in rebounding. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry with 9 locations in all. 2 in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard in Bocage, the Mall of Louisiana, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. Check them out at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. If you're thinking of buying that beautiful diamond, that piece of jewelry, it's going to thrill her forever. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry can help. Remember, when you're buying a piece of jewelry, when you're buying a diamond ring, you're buying something that is forever, that you're going to give to your wife, that one day you'll pass to your daughter, your granddaughter, whatever it may be in your family forever. You want something that's real. You want something beautiful. You want an actual diamond from the finest diamond mines in the world. That's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Never, ever will they sell a lab-made or man-made diamond. It's not a science experiment. It's a diamond ring. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We've been in a hurry today. We've kind of had a lot of guests. I haven't even gotten to check the text line or email. If you want to jump aboard, you always can. We do have Ross Jackson coming up after the top of the hour. But, man, if you missed it, Ross Dellenger was here in hour 1. LSU 5-star running back commit Harlem Berry was here in hour number 1. Julian Council talking some Panthers, and Robert DeSanto, Dylan Battle's head coach, was here last hour as well. So you miss anything, AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Let me see. I was going to try to get one of these texts in if I could. Paul said, Matt, one thing that stuck out with me with Wednesday's Brian Kelly presser was how they ran the clock management scenarios for the offense. Shows me the overall program awareness to the detail after he lived with so many Les Miles clock management debacles. Yes, that was one example of that struck me so far in fall camp. Another was actually when we spoke to Joe Sloan a week ago, and they have periods built in where, of course, now they're calling plays with the walkie-talkie, the comms device, the communications device. And so instead of signaling in place on the sideline, you have a walkie-talkie, or it'll be a headset, but at practice they're using a walkie-talkie. Well, they're practicing scenarios in practice where, okay, Sloan say, okay, headset's down for the next 4 plays, so they have to go back to calling plays using hand signals from the sideline. So that's seamless. Yes, I mean, the attention to detail is something within every facet of the entire organization that Brian Kelly has talked about since he was hired. I mean, down to the players filling out accountability charts of what they ate, what time they went to bed, and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, attention to detail is massive. All right, hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
If it's time to buy tires, that's not a fun thing to buy. You know, when you're younger and you have money, you get to spend money on all your fun things, right? Your trips or whatever you want, usually. And then you become an adult and you have adult responsibilities, and then you have to spend a lot of money on things like, you know, your broken AC or tires. Not a fun thing to buy, but it's essential. Like literally, if you want your vehicle to move, you have to have tires. So you want the best tires on the road. Of course you do. It's a great way to give you more security in your vehicle, especially when you're riding around with your family, your children, your spouse, and you want them where they're the cheapest. Well, that's Shawbills. They guarantee it. They're going to sell you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen. Buy tires at Shawbills. Find them advertised cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 120% of the difference. They're going to get you the best tires, the cheapest price, and always treat you like family. It's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line. Unless you add Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Bills linebacker Matt Milano will be out indefinitely with a torn biceps. He got hurt during Tuesday's practice. The hope is Milano might be able to play by December. Week 2 of the NFL preseason kicks off tonight with the Patriots hosting the Eagles. Saturday, the Super Bowl champ Chiefs host the Lions. Chiefs wideout Marquise Brown out of action right now with a dislocated shoulder. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Obviously, we lose a little bit of that veteran-type receiver in that room. I mean, we have other guys that can kind of replace a little bit, but to have that much talent, have a good understanding of what I want. But he's in the room. I think that's what's awesome. He's talking to those guys and everything like that. And so hopefully we're getting them back sooner rather than later. But we just got to keep pushing those young guys to keep getting better and better every day.
Patrick Mahomes, after trading with the Patriots to get Matthew Judon, the Falcons today signed free agent safety Justin Simmons for a 1-year, $8 million deal. Ohio State coach Ryan Day announces today Kansas State transfer Will Howard will open the new season as the Buckeyes' starting quarterback.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. A lot to do here in hour number 3, as we've done here for, almost 3 consecutive weeks. We start hour 3 with our buddy Ross Jackson, who's been awesome to us to handle all these Saints reports from out in Irvine. Only one more to go after this. Ross, how are you, man?
Hey, buddy. Doing great. Thanks for asking.
Hey, not great news about Taliese Fuaga. Biggest question mark on the Saints' entire team is the offensive line, and I feel like they went into camp with 2 certainties, and they're going to exit camp with 2 certainties on the offensive line. What do we know about what happened today?
Yeah, so what we know is during individual drills, Taliese ended up leaving with what Dennis Allen called back tightness. So not your reference to a larger injury at that time or anything like that, just back tightness. However, we have seen back tightness keep Alvin Kamara, for instance, out of practice last week. So, or since throughout this week. And so with that being the case, definitely something to watch. As you mentioned, the Saints came in with only two sure things in their offensive line. Taliese Fuaga was becoming the third sure thing. He had played at left tackle the entirety of training camp with the first team, had looked good doing it. So ideally for the Saints, this doesn't end up turning into a long-term absence of any kind. But I wouldn't be surprised, just based upon how they have kind of approached these things here in training camp over the course of this year's camp, if they play this very, very kind of safely as they move forward. It wouldn't be super surprising to see Taliese Fuaga not back around throughout this week, but Dennis Allen said that if he's an able-bodied and he's able to be out there and play this weekend, that they'll get him out there this weekend, but the Saints should probably play this one safe.
Yeah. The other big news today is Justin Simmons. He'll be in the NFC South, just not in New Orleans. Reaction to Simmons ending up in Atlanta and how this all played out?
Yeah, boy, that's got to sting, doesn't it? I mean, this is a guy that this team, spoke with. Dennis Allen estimated sometime around the draft, kind of kept tabs on him. I don't know if they were actively pursuing him, but kept tabs on him. And then finally got to a point to where they felt like they were close enough. I assume that what he meant by that was contract, that they could bring him in for a visit, and brought him in. And the Saints have been really good in this area over the course of the past couple of years. Tyrann Mathieu, Jarvis Landry, although that didn't work out in the long run. But Derek Carr, Chase Young, bringing guys in for visits had all of a sudden for New Orleans turned into something that was a signifier of mutual interest as opposed to a free meal. And unfortunately for the Saints, this one didn't work out that way. Justin Simmons signing with the Atlanta Falcons. So not only not signing with the Saints, but signing across the division with the division rival. That's got to sting too. I think that the big takeaway around this is that the Saints weren't looking at their safety position as a position where they were desperate to address or desperate to improve. They were interested in Justin Simmons because of how good he was, not because of how good the safety room isn't. So they're pretty happy regardless of being able to go with a guy like Jonathan Abram or go with a guy like Jordan Howden, the second-year safety next to Tyrann Mathieu. They'll be totally fine with that decision. But they wanted to add Justin Simmons. I think you saw the mutual interest there. So it's a miss in that the Saints don't get to be as good as they could have been over on the defensive backs room as they would have been if they would have been able to add a Justin Simmons.
Is there a player on the defensive side that you and I in these conversations haven't spent a lot of time talking about on the defensive side that we should be?
Yeah, I would say that maybe like one guy that's probably worth mentioning right now is Peyton Turner. We talked about him a little while ago, but he has continued to look good here throughout training camp.
Okay.
And I think the thing that has worked really well for him too is that they've been moving him inside. And really, Cam Jordan is another guy that maybe is a part of this conversation too, because they've been moving him inside a lot too. And both of those things give you a whole lot of versatility and a whole lot of opportunity over on your defensive line. It allows you to, run stunts with these guys. It allows you to get those interior offensive linemen kind of back on their heels because for, 50 snaps, they've been getting hit in the face by the big 300-pound guy. Now all of a sudden the fast 260-pound guy is in front of them, and how do they adjust to that, things like that. It creates a lot of that sort of turmoil for offensive lines. So I think that having access to that between guys like Cam Jordan and Peyton Turner is really valuable. Tano Passanio last year played over 150 snaps from 0 to 3 techs, so kind of those interior rush positions. And they're going to need to replace that because Tano's not going to be ready to go at the beginning of the season. Guys like Cam Jordan and Peyton Turner seem to be filling into that role.
Yeah, great stat there. Wow. Boy, that would be something if they could maximize Peyton Turner finally after all this time. We've got to keep him healthy, certainly. Anything on Isaiah Foskey?
Foskey was an interesting one. He was my most improved guy throughout training camp, and then he got to that Arizona Cardinals game and just couldn't generate the pressure that I was hoping that he would be able to translate from what he's been able to do here in training camp. He looked really solid all throughout camp and really has looked solid again since that Arizona Cardinals game. So maybe that says more about where the Saints offensive line is than anything else. But if nothing else, I mean, you're wanting to see him be able to build on that confidence and then bring that into a game. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again here Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers, but he's somebody that has been really active as a pass rusher and really active as a run stopper as well, pretty consistently disruptive in the backfield and things like that, and the opportunities that he gets. And just, when we say consistently, we're talking about once a practice day or something like that. But, you want to see those flashes. You want to see that player show up day after day after day after day. And I think we've seen that from Isaiah Foskey. interesting to kind of see that didn't translate to the field last Saturday against Arizona. Maybe it'll be a different story this Sunday against San Francisco.
Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints, LouisianaSports.net. Before you go, standout today, anybody catch your eye?
Yeah, Brian Austin. He was my dog of the day today.
Nice.
I've been doing a dog of the day every day.
Love it.
And so that's kind of like my underrated guy that brought a lot of energy and did a lot of good things. Brian Austin was awesome today. He did have one drop early, but after that, just kind of turned it on. Made what I think people are calling the play of the day. I think Boston Moreau's catch off of the batted pass at the line of scrimmage, diving catch in the end zone for a touchdown. That, to me, was the play of the day. But right before that, Brian Austin reeling in a 29-yard catch in between two defenders, had to go up high to get it over his shoulder and come down with 2 feet before stepping out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Really, really great catch by him. And he had some other moments, too, contributes on special teams, all these other things. Kevin Austin's really one to watch to potentially steal a wide receiver spot on this 53-man roster.
Okay. Ross Jackson, get him on Twitter, X at Ross Jackson Nola. Of course, Locked On Saints podcast. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and be with us anchoring our Saints coverage, leading our Saints coverage for LouisianaSports.net. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you soon.
That is Ross Jackson. One more practice report with Ross. Then he gets to fly home. I wonder, what is that going to be like after spending 3 weeks in L.A., and then you come home to 97 degrees at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The beautiful breeze off the ocean right there on the Pacific, the salinity in the air, all the cool breeze, the palm trees, and then boom, here's humidity. Welcome home, Ross, and everybody else that's been out there. But one more day out in Irvine for the Saints. Saturday they head to the Bay Area. Sunday they'll play the 49ers and come home and finish up camp at the Saints training facility. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. I guess it's never too early for bowl projections. I don't really care what the bowl projections say, but I do find these bowl projections to be a launching point for a bigger conversation about college football playoff spots. I'll explain what I mean next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Get on by Rouse's.com, y'all. It's back to school time. So you want to stuff your kiddos' lunch boxes with healthier options, you could do it. And, of course, if you're buying on a budget, Rouse's always has great sales going on. The truckload sale is going on right now over at Rouse's. As a matter of fact, that ends on 8/21. So you get 6 more days. 6 more days here, the truckload sale over at Rouse's, where you could save big on so many items like, how about Jif peanut butter for $3.99 for the 28-ounce jar? If you like Pick Sweet vegetables, 2 for $7. Great option. Rouse's vegetable oil for just $6.99. A boneless, skinless chicken breast, you can save $5. It's $1.96 a pound. It's all at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouse's, this feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne
began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 7.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
104.5 ESPN and Citizens Bank and Trust are looking for the ultimate tailgate. Snap a pic of your setup and upload it to 1045ESPN.com for a chance to win a $500 Rouse's gift card. Our judges will select a winner on August 29th. It's the ultimate tailgate giveaway from Rouse's Markets, Citizens Bank and Trust, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I like that little ditty there, Muse.
Like this is you're good with this one? This is your fan?
No, not really.
All right.
No, not really. I don't like it a lot. I'm good though. So Jerry Palm put out some bowl projections today. I like Jerry. I don't really care about his bowl projections. I don't really care about anybody's bowl projections. For what it's worth, it's just a conversation starter. So the quarterfinals, actually, let's go first round. So these would be the on-campus playoff games. He's got number 5, Texas, hosting number 12, Boise State, winner facing Florida State. He's got Texas A&M, number 8. How about A&M in the playoff? Hosting number 9, Penn State, with the winner getting Georgia. He's got Oregon hosting Kansas State, winner taking on Utah, who in this case would be the Big 12 champ. And then Alabama hosting Miami, with the winner getting Ohio State. So that's the playoff teams he's got there. That would be the 12 playoff teams. Okay. That A&M, I think, is probably going to catch a lot of people off guard. But he's got Texas A&M, Bama, Georgia. So he's got 4 SEC teams in. Just one guy's opinion on how the playoff may look. There's other bowl projections that are starting to come out that get updated weekly. And again, I don't really care about bowl projections. It's more just a launching point to have a conversation. This was from, I think this was Brad Crawford over at 24/7 who put out bowl projections for the SEC. For what it's worth, he's got LSU in the Gator Bowl against NC State. That'd be a real disappointment. 4 SEC teams in the playoff. He's got Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas, and Alabama as the 4 in there. I just want to point something out because we posted that graphic earlier today of the 24/7 bowl projections, and there was someone on Twitter X. I don't think he was that. I'm not poking at this guy at all. His name is Brian Day, and he said LSU should never miss a 12-team playoff. And I just want to point this out because I don't think his opinion exists in a vacuum. I think there's a lot of people, not just LSU fans, but fans of a lot of schools who think that their school should never miss a 12-team playoff. And I want to remind you that in a 12-team playoff, you have the 4 Power 4 champions that are in and get a bye, and then the G5, the highest-ranked G5, is in as well. So you get 7 at-large spots. And the point I made in a reply was that logic is going to cause an awful lot of heartbreak for fan bases that think they're just going to be, they should be in a 12-team playoff every year. Let me just illustrate LSU in the CFP era. Okay, since 2014, where LSU was in the penultimate rankings. For those that don't know, penultimate is the second to last. So the last rankings would be after all the bowl games. The penultimate rankings would be the ones that ultimately determined who was in the playoff, right? So the rankings after the conference championship weekend that determined who's in. Last year, LSU was 13th. They're out. 2022, LSU was 17th. They're out. In 2021, not ranked. 2020, not ranked. 2019, they were first. 2018, they were 11th at 9-3. So there's those weird one-off years. 2017, they were 17th. 2016, they were 20th. 2015, 20th. 2014, 23rd. All that to say that in a decade of the 4-team playoff, if it were 12, LSU would have made it twice. The Burrow team in 2019, and they would have just gotten in 2018 as the 11. Because 11 would be the last at-large, of course, because the G5 is guaranteed a spot, and they're always going to be the 12th team. So really, you have to be in the top 11 to guarantee yourself a spot. So in a decade, LSU would have made it twice. And that's about what LSU's been over the last 20 years, is once every half decade or so, boom, here comes the big opportunity. They won a championship in 2003. They won it in 2007. They played for it again in 2011. Had a really good start in 2015, and the wheels fell off down the stretch. Of course, then they won it in 2019. And now here you are 4 years later after 2019, and you think maybe this year or next, could they jump back in? We'll see. But ultimately, that's what I think a lot of people are forgetting. And then I've also heard this argument that there's no way, there's zero chance that a 10-2 SEC team is left out of the playoff. Y'all, you can think whatever you want, but I'm just here to tell you, you're not looking at context in reality. There are going to be, and by the way, that's not just SEC teams or SEC programs. The Big Ten, their teams are thinking the exact same way. Oh, you get to 10 wins, you're in. Look at last year. You had 17, I guess 18 if you want to count, 19. You had 19 double-digit win teams. Michigan, Washington, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Florida State, Oregon, Missouri, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Arizona, LSU, Penn State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Louisville, SMU, Iowa, Liberty. I mean, y'all, forgive me. That was the final ranking, so that counted the bowl games. Even still, Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama, Florida State, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Missouri, Penn State, Ohio, or Ole Miss, you're out of spots now. Oklahoma was 10-2, they'd have been out. Louisville was 10-3, played for their conference championship, they'd have been out. Iowa was 10-3, played for a conference championship, they'd have been out. By the way, under this format, neither of those teams would have made their conference championship game, so they'd have been sitting on 10-2, not 10-3, so they wouldn't have a loss going into the final weekend. Point is, there ain't enough spots. If you go 10-2, you're not guaranteed a spot in this thing. Oklahoma was 10-2 last year. They were 12th. They'd have been out. In 2022, there would have only been 3 SEC teams in the field. In 2021, you had 6 Power 5 teams with 10 wins that would not have been in the playoff. Let's look at 2021 and how that looked. When you go look at the penultimate rankings in 2021, Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Baylor, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, Utah. That's 11. Pitt 11-2, BYU 10-2, Oregon 10-3, Iowa 10-3, Oklahoma 10-2, Wake Forest 10-3, Houston, who's now a Power 5, 11-2. Y'all, there ain't enough spots. I'm telling you, you've got to recalibrate your brain. If you think your team gets to 10 wins, they're in, you're wrong. It's not to say 10 won't get you in. What I'm telling you is 10 doesn't guarantee you a spot. How your 10 looks matters. It does. So let's look specifically at LSU this year. If LSU loses home games to Ole Miss and Bama, and Ole Miss, Bama, and LSU are all 10-2, guess who's not getting in the playoff at 10-2? Because if Georgia and Texas are there and Ole Miss and Bama are there, that's 4 spots right there. That's not even knowing what Missouri and Tennessee do. So, no, 10-2 isn't a lock. How your 10-2 looks is going to matter, which is why I'm going to continue to bang this drum. And this is why in 2 years, ultimately my opinion is that G5 auto bid is going away. If you missed it in hour 1, Ross Dellenger was here. And Ross has a great piece up right now about how the G5 are fretting right now. The powers that be in the group of 5 are fretting because they don't feel like this is going to be stable. I'm paraphrasing. It's a long piece. I'd recommend you go read it at Yahoo. Ross did a great job. Ross is good at what he does. But ultimately, the G5 are thinking their guaranteed spot is only good for 2 years. Because to make changes to the current format over the next 2 years, you would have to have a unanimous vote. And the G5 leagues aren't going to vote themselves out. But in 2 years, in 2 years, they're not going to have their weight to throw around in that vote. So if the Power 4 says, we're not guaranteeing you a spot anymore, guess what? They're out. And I think that's going to happen. We just saw it with Liberty last year. Liberty got in the New Year's 6. They go play Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. What was the final that score? What was the final? 42-6? Something like, what was the final?
45-6.
45-6. How in the world are you going to justify 3, 4, 5, 6 Power 4 teams, SEC teams? Let a 10-2 LSU. Watch this scenario. Let LSU go 10-2, lose at home to Ole Miss and Bama. Those are your 2 losses to playoff teams. Let that happen. And LSU's 10-2, and they're ranked 12th. And they don't get in because a G5 has an auto bid. And so you get to go watch Boise State get the holy hell beaten out of them on Georgia's campus or wherever it would be, the number 5 seed, whoever the 5 would be. Take your pick. How's that going to go over? You want to talk about wailing and gnashing of teeth? There it is. You got another power team where you lose a head-to-head? Like, let's say it comes down to LSU, Ole Miss, 11-12, and Ole Miss has a head-to-head in Baton Rouge. Okay, you can live with that result. You don't have to be happy about what played out, but you can understand why the committee would vote that way. What you can't stomach is you go 10-2 and you miss a playoff spot because you're handing one to a G5 just because. Y'all, I can go all day long. By the way, you remember 2019? Pretty good year for LSU, right? LSU won the national championship. You know who was ranked 13th in the penultimate rankings? You want to guess? Either you? You want to guess? Muse? Number 13 in the penultimate rankings. So these would have been the rankings that would have set the playoff. Who's ranked 13th?
Oh, man. Oklahoma?
It was Alabama.
Oh.
You know what Alabama's record was?
10-2.
10-2. 10-2 Alabama would have been on the outside looking in. If you think just because you're 10-2 in the SEC, you're in, history shows you ain't. And I don't think a committee of a bunch of self-important dorks in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas, all representing different interests, are going to be jacked about ushering in 4, 5, 6 SEC teams. What?
I said Oklahoma. LSU stomped Oklahoma in the semifinal. That was just me realizing that was a horrible guess.
Doesn't matter. I put you on the spot. It was just for effect. I'm not holding that against you. The point being, you can have this feel like, 10-2 getting you in every time. No, it's not. History is an indicator. It shows you it's not. How your 10-2 looks or get to 11-1. I'm going to tell you another scenario. You ready for this one? How about this?
Hit me with it.
Let's say you go to the conference championship game and lose. Because I'd rather this. You go to a conference championship game, you win it, you get a bye, right? Top 4 get a bye. It's a good scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go 10-2, you don't make it to your conference championship game, you get a bye. And then you get a home game in the playoff. The worst scenario possible is making it to your league championship game and losing, because one of two things is happening. Either you play that week, and then guess what? You're playing the next week in a playoff game. Or you play that week, lose, and you're out of the playoff altogether. Two scenarios that could unfold. Now, I don't know if you're one of the top 2 teams in the SEC in the regular season, if one loss in the league championship game is going to knock you out of the playoff. But what it will do is not give you any time off. Because if you play in that conference championship game, then you're playing in the playoff a week later.
Yeah, and I suppose, honestly, it could knock you out as well, though, if you're 10-2 going into it, which is plausible.
I don't think there's a scenario where you would have a 2-loss team in the SEC championship.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because remember, there's no divisions anymore. That's the kicker here. So like last year, you had Bama 12-1, Georgia 12-1, right? So, going into the SEC championship game, Georgia was 12-0, Bama was 11-1. So even if Bama lost, they would have been 11-2. They're still in. At 11 wins with a loss to Georgia in the conference championship, they're still getting in. It's just a matter of where they are. But the worst scenario, not for Bama, but for any team that goes to the SEC championship game and loses, is now you had to play that weekend and you have to play the next weekend. You don't get a bye. Because even does this make sense?
It does.
If you don't play in your conference championship game, you get that Saturday off.
No, for sure. I understand that. I don't know. I'm not as sold as you that there couldn't ever be a 2-loss team again in the championship. I think you could see like an 11-1, 10-2 matchup for sure.
Find me.
You get a really strong year in the league and how schedules shake out.
I don't want a hypothetical. Find me one. Take the break. And when we go in this break, go look at the history of the SEC, not the SEC championship game, because we've seen 3-loss LSU get in.
Right.
So I need, when you go to the regular season records, who would have been the top 2? Would you have a 2-loss team in the SEC championship game? I'll be interested to see how many times that's happened, because I don't know that that's a scenario we're going to see very often. All right, let me knock out a quick break. You want to react? You can email us, tweet us, text us. 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways that you get involved in the show. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1-hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Y'all, got a phone call 5:45 this morning. The crew is on their way to Casa de Scone. Dudes worked very hard, man. They finished our install today, but it's not done yet. They started the install on Saturday, finished it today, and now a quality control rep from River City's 1-hour air comes behind the crew to make sure that the install was done flawlessly. They take those steps to make sure the install is done right. This is something that so often you don't consider when you think, I need a new unit. Let me see who's going to do the cheapest install, cheapest unit, whatever the case may be. There's so many things that you could prevent against with a quality install that extends the life of your unit. That's why I choose River City's 1-hour air. Big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Gordy Rush is over at Tiger Stadium. I'm not sure what exactly event he's got going on, but he just sent me a video, and I posted it on the 104.5 ESPN Twitter and Instagram if you're interested. But it's a view from South Stadium Club of the new video board in Tiger Stadium. So it's up on our Twitter. It's up on our 104.5 ESPN Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you want to see what the new video board looks like, it looks like it may not be completely finished if you look at this. The video board is done, but you can see the speakers that border both sides. So they'll have to fill that in. I'm certain it'll be ads, I'm sure. So they'll have like a buffer on the outside. So the shell is there of the speakers, but the video board is done and it's active. They'll have a louder and a Tiger Eye there. If you want to check it out, you can check it out on our social media. So pretty cool looking expanded video board, something that I know LSU fans have called for a long time in Tiger Stadium. Better sound quality in the stadium, better lighting in the stadium. They've done the LED lights. And even though the video boards are relatively new, they're redoing not only those video boards, but the corner video boards in the southeast and southwest corners that were, of course, installed when the south end zone expansion was done back in 2014. So looking good, man. Getting close. Of course, the home opener will be against Nichols. And how about LSU, if you missed it? The Tigers did announce today, the LSU Athletic Department announced today that it is a season sellout for home games for the 100-year anniversary of Tiger Stadium. Of course, 2024, the 100th anniversary of Tiger Stadium, something that LSU is promoting pretty heavily, and they have sold out the entire allotment of season tickets. 71,250 season tickets sold. Now we'll see how many people get there early, stay there late, and are allowed the whole time. There'll be some good games, no doubt. Ole Miss will be a raucous environment. I think Bama, of course, will always be. I think Oklahoma is going to be a really special game this year as well. I don't know. Do y'all agree or disagree? Like, am I on an island kind of pumping that Oklahoma game? I'm excited about what that can be because they've lost Bedlam, so they don't have their November Thanksgiving weekend game anymore. LSU's never had anything. You have two very proud, tradition-rich programs that have played meaningful games. You mentioned the Peach Bowl in 19, the 03 National Championship game, or the 04 Sugar Bowl, the 03 Championship game. But I'm fired up for that, for what that can be.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it. I think this year, obviously, it's going to it being at the end of the season, it's going to have to take some, obviously, having an impact on postseason at some point. Not necessarily this year, but at some point for it to really take off, or just something to spark it. Because I don't really think, the Peach Bowl and the 03 Championship, those two meetings in 20 years are enough to do it off the bat.
No,
So
I think more that it's the two brands. Arkansas did nothing for LSU.
No.
And Texas A&M, LSU dominated that so much initially that started to ramp organically after the 7 overtime game. And then they were sort of volleying wins, and I think that could have become something. But I'm excited about it because they need something to end their season with on rivalry weekend. LSU's never had it. Maybe it's something that can organically breed into something, grow into something that's meaningful that people look forward to on that weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
It'd be great because, to actually be a part of that weekend would be fun.
Yeah. I don't think it'll ever be like Texas A&M,
No.
or Florida State, or the Iron Bowl. I get that. But you can do something that look at what LSU Florida has become over time. Those aren't historic rivals. They didn't start playing every year until 79 maybe. So that's not one of the older rivalries, but and even in the 90s, LSU got their heads kicked in. It's really been the last 15 years that really started to grow organically, and there's a lot of animus built in that whole thing, and sometimes those are the best games, man. All right, it's after further review. I am going to get to I got some feedback on Twitter and the text line about the conversation we had about playoff spots and everything. I'll get to that here in a second. Hey, remember, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call, your first option should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Of course, I love telling you about the patronage refund. This year, First South Farm Credit paid $25.5 million back to its borrowers. They're a cooperative, and they share the profits with their borrowers. That could be you. It effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. It's First South Farm Credit. Look, through world wars, economic depressions, natural disasters, they've been through it all, and they just continue doing one thing better than anybody else, helping Louisianians buy land. It's First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. Stephen Miller tweeted this in response to our convo. And this is an interesting, let's play this scenario out. So we're talking about the point that I'm making, and I think he agrees, is 10-2 is not going to guarantee you as an SEC school a playoff spot. I've gone through the numbers. History shows you have to be in the top 11. And I just told you 2019, Bama was 10-2. They were 13th in the penultimate rankings. They would have been out. There's tons of examples of that, and every league feels the same way. That if their teams go 10-2, they're going to be in, and there aren't enough spots. There's more teams every year that win 10 games in the regular season than there are spots. So he said, don't leave out the possibility of a team in the Big 12 or the ACC that's ranked 13th going into their conference championship game with 3 losses, then they win and get an auto bye. Now, I would have to see an example of that, but for example, let's just say this. So last year, of course, I X'd out of it incidentally. What was Louisville ranked going into that ACC? So Louisville, of course, played Florida State. Florida State had just lost, Jordan Travis. Louisville, I believe, had 2 losses. I'm pulling it up. Forgive me if you'll just give me one quick second here while I revisit this. So, let's see. I want to go to week 15. Let's see. Okay. So Louisville was 10-2. And so this is exactly the scenario he's talking about. It's a good point. All right. So last year, no, that wouldn't make sense. That was week 14. So they were 10-2. And they were ranked 14th. Had they beaten Florida State, they would have gotten in.
They would have had the automatic.
Well, of course, but that's not what he's talking about specifically. It's more so, like, would they have gotten in anyway? Because I see, they're 14th right there, but they're playing in the game. If they didn't play in the game at 10-2, they'd be out. But they're playing in the game. Their only way in would be. So I guess I understand what he's saying, but they would get 2 bids. That league would get 2 bids because then Florida State would still be in had they lost the conference.
It's effectively bid stealing in a sense.
Yes, but I'm struggling to see if there's an example where that would happen. I guess Louisville would make sense because you had Florida State. Yeah, and then Louisville was the next highest ranked team at 14.
Of course, then again, Florida State lost their quarterback and everything, got left out of a 14 playoff in that scenario.
But an undefeated team would be in a 12. They would have been in a 12. Let's see. So week 15 in the penultimate rankings, Florida State ended up 5th, and Louisville, which lost, was dropped down to 15th. So that's an example of what he's talking about, where in that scenario, Florida State would likely still be in, and Louisville would have gotten in. Now, that wasn't a 3-loss team, but it was a 2-loss team that was on the outside looking in, would have won had they won their conference championship game, that would have in effect been a bid steal. And by the way, they would have gotten a bye because the top 4 conference championships all get the first round bye, regardless of record. So you could very well see that. I mean, I think it's less likely in a playoff era where there are no divisions. Because like we've talked about, South Carolina is never going back to the SEC championship game. Arkansas, Mississippi State, they're never getting back to the SEC championship game because they're never going to be one of the top 2 teams in the league. Like in the Big Ten is probably a better illustration. Northwestern, Iowa, Wisconsin, they're never going back to the Big Ten championship game. Northwestern sure as hell's never going back. You know what I mean? Like ever. You had to win a weak division, and then you got in and you got to take your swing at Michigan or Ohio State. Like that's never happening again. So those teams will never have a shot. So that's why I think it's less likely that you see bid stealing. But the ACC example is one that would have been certainly right there in front of you a year ago.
I did find a couple examples as well of the SEC.
Okay.
So,
What
I
you
mean,
got?
2006 is one of them where when you look at, there were 2 teams that finished 7-1. They actually played, but Arkansas went into the SEC championship at 10-2. They lost to LSU the week before. Now, Arkansas might not be there again, but
Who else did Arkansas lose to?
They lost to USC in their opener. So they lost to the number 6 USC Trojans to open, and then LSU, the bookend losses. Right?
Was that when Mitch Mustaine? Was that the game where USC hung like 70 on them?
50-14 was your final score. Yeah.
I remember that game.
Right? But I mean, like, could the Iron Bowl play out like that? Like Auburn upsets Alabama and they're a 2-loss team, but they've only lost their opener. And then you face a 13-1.
They're 7-1 in the league.
They're 7-1 in the league. And then, of course, 2007. I mean, you had 3 teams finish 6-2 at the top of the league.
But my point is still, and I know we're running out of time here, and this is I fear like with all the hypotheticals, people are probably losing us a bit. But people are probably following this. But my point is still that Auburn team you described, like, what was Arkansas ranked going into the conference championship game?
Going into the conference championship game, they
just lost to LSU, so they were 10-1. They lose to LSU.
10-2. They were 10. Yeah,
they were 10-1. They lost to LSU.
So
that was Trenton Holiday. I was at that game.
Let me pull up the box score real fast if that's okay.
Well, I would. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm curious what they would have been.
Well, I know. Oh, after. Okay, you're looking for going into the SEC championship. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. But it's a good illustration that you had 7-1 teams going into the league.
They were number 8 going into the SEC
Okay, so they still would have been in, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my point, is that wouldn't be a bid steal. I'm more thinking of a conference 2-loss team is not getting. I don't think you're going to see a 2-loss team in the conference get like a 6-2 conference record. I don't think is getting you to Atlanta anymore. I think you've got to be 8-0 or 7-1 because every year you're going to have 2 teams that are 8-0, 7-1 in the league.
You would think
that. So that's what I was asking. Find me an example of a 6-2.
2007, you had 3 teams finish 6-2.
Right, but you had divisions.
But 3 teams were at the top.
That was the top?
Yeah.
Was 07.
6-2 was the best
LSU,
record.
that's right.
LSU,
okay.
Tennessee, and Georgia were all 6-2.
So one time in 15 years?
But my thing more, and I want to be quick here, is like if Arkansas, they're in, they lose that game to Florida, then they're out. That's what I was saying.
They might still be in at 10-2.
But they were 10-3 at that
point. If they lost conference championship game.
Like they did.
Yeah, but then that opens up a spot.
Right, but you were talking about
we are so late. We got to go. Sorry, we got to go.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. I wasn't trying to cut you off, but we literally have a hard break. We got to go. Watermark Hotel, Renaissance Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark Hotel, downtown, Renaissance, Southtown on Bluebonnet. You know where they are, right there on Bluebonnet across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. That is where the LSU football Tigers are spending the night before every home game. So I tell you all the time, if you have an event at the Renaissance, they're in the business of saying yes. So if they can host the LSU football program, coaches, players, support staff, they can have team meetings, team meals. They can manipulate that sprawling campus there to fit whatever type of event you're looking to host. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Don't forget Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. Casual, upscale dining. Great place for a meal. Maybe a great place to go hang out with friends. It's right there on Bluebonnet. It's the Renaissance Hotel.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, let's get to Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Otter, how are you, man?
Oh, doing good, Matthew. How about you, buddy? How about that little end game on the Phillies? How about it?
Hey, man, when you're hot, you're hot. Is that how the saying goes? When you're hot,
That's
you're
what they
hot?
say. That's what they say.
Where are you, man?
Oh, at an undisclosed location. So anyway, the only 2 games tonight, man.
All right.
I mean, we got a football game. Patriots and Eagles. I don't know if they're running the Philly specials tonight, but that's the replay.
How about that? A little Super Bowl rematch.
But no, you know what? This Gerard Mayo, he's tired of hearing about this. Tired of hearing about the Bill Belichick stuff. He wants to win. Take the 3 points.
1 minute
Coming on
remaining.
NFL Network in about 5 minutes.
The Patriots are the Patriots are laying 3.5.
Take the 3. No, I'm no reverse line. So anyway, that's hard to do.
Wait, hang on. And we're listening. Sorry, Musso was yelling about the playoff, and I couldn't shut him up. So we got like 30 seconds. The Patriots are a 3.5-point favorite. What is the play?
No, we'll take the Patriots anyway. Even more so. The line movements last week were 1 and 9. So if it's going that way, lay it. So take the Patriots tonight. And the Orioles.
All right, the Patriots and the Orioles. Where are you tomorrow? Oh, it's Friday. Rufino's. I'm losing track of days.
It'll be raining. It'll be raining still tomorrow at Rufino's.
All right, thank you, Otter. By the way, if it's raining, call Parrish Construction Roofing. We'd love to help you out. All right, y'all have a great night. Muse Pauly, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Brought to you by Supper Club, y'all. Look, a rainy Thursday night. How about this? Get out of the rain. Get into Supper Club. Y'all, what a great way to start your weekend early. If you're knocking off of work right now, don't go home. Go to Supper Club. Open seating at the bar. Just pop on in. You don't need a reservation. Grab a seat at the bar. Bring some buddies from work, maybe a client. Treat them to a glass of wine, a cocktail. Close some business. You can have dinner at the bar. Maybe you luck up. There's a cancellation. There's a table for you tonight. You can always book your reservations at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Y'all, school's back in. People are getting back to normal. The vacations are over. Date night's got to be a thing again. Maybe you're getting back to work here, ramping up in the fall. Make Supper Club part of your work events, your date nights, whatever it is you're celebrating. When you need a night out, you need Supper Club right there on Perkins Road. Get your reservations today at supperclubbtr.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at Sunny